Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the program. Today, we are going to continue fixing WPT issues. And I thought we would do something a little bit fun today, which is instead of looking at just Ladybird, I'm going to edit the search here and add a second product. And we're going to also include Flow. Flow is another new browser engine, not based on an existing browser. And they've been doing this for a bit longer than we have. I think they started it back in like 2012 or something like that. It's closed source, but the interesting thing about them today is that they are doing a bit better than we are at web platform tests. So you can see here that we are at 1.52 mil passing subtests, and they are at 1.63 mil passing subtests. So they are sort of the next thing ahead of us to catch up to Flow. So it is pretty interesting to look for opportunities where we could try to close the gap. And so I have been looking around here a little bit, and I did see that there are a handful of categories or directories here where you can see that what these numbers are, by the way, this is the number of passing subtests, and this is the number of attempted subtests. And if we look at this category here, for example, quirks, we can see that Flow is passing 6,900 subtests of 7,006 attempted, and we only attempted 2.2K. So there are like 5,000 tests here that we're not even trying to run. And that might be a great opportunity to find something to do. So we can see here that in the unit less length subdirectory, they are doing 4.8K things. We are doing barely 70. So drilling in, we find that there are a bunch of these with the warning sign, and I'm pretty sure that means timeout or crash. Yes. So what's happening here is that we are crashing somewhere when running this test. And that means that we don't count the subtests at all. So it ends up being a 0 out of 1. Whereas if we ran them, we might get like a couple out of 1581 total attempted. So what I want to do today is figure out why these are crashing and then see if we can collect some points by passing at least some of the subtests in here. So what we're going to do is figure out why it's crashing. So let's just pick one and run in your browser. Sure. So we'll open that up in Ladybird, and so far so good. A lot of debug spam, and then it crashes because verification failed is value list. Okay. So something goes wrong in style recomputation, border spacing, horizontal, something or other, absolutized. Okay, so I think what we want to do is probably trap it with a debugger. Let's say that might be the first thing to do. So we'll get a debugger attached here. So that we can get an exact line number to look at would be good. Okay. So as value list is happening in CSS style value 346 called by style properties. So what is style value? CSS style value .cpp line 346. Okay, so it's just verifying that it is a value list when you're calling as value list. So that's called by border spacing horizontal. Which I guess is this one, right? 410? 410, yeah, so we are here. And the value is not a value list. So we're looking at border spacing. Border spacing is not a length. and not a value list. So I guess what we should do here is print out what is border spacing. Or if value is not a value list, let's say, because we're assuming that it is. Okay. Maybe it's a percentage or something. We'll find out. We'll find out eventually. Okay. Unsupported calc. Aha. Okay, so it's a calc value. Well, that shouldn't be terribly difficult to deal with. I guess we just have to tolerate calc here. So if value is calculated. Oh no, we changed the name of that to math because that's what they call it in the CSS typed object model spec. So if it's math, then we want to do as math resolve length. Is that it? But length does require some metadata because if you're resolving a calc expression to a length, you might have some component of the calc that depends on font metrics and viewport size. If you're using like EM units or VW units or something like that. So we do need to provide some context, and we don't have that here. So we need to provide length resolution context, which is viewport rect, font metrics, and root font metrics. Or we can also provide a layout node, and then I think he will just go and fetch a resolution context for that layout node. So I think what we want to do here is just like provide a layout node, which we will make this function take. And then the length will then, any calc expression will then be sort of resolved within the context of the layout node. Yes. Let's see, does that pan out? So this guy is going to have to start taking a layout node const. I wonder if other things in this file are doing that. Yes, they are. Okay, that is very good because that means that we've done the same kind of solution before, presumably. So we'll do the same thing for border spacing vertical, which looks very symmetrical with this function. Yeah. Okay. And I guess who's calling this? No. This guy right here. In node with style, apply style. Okay, so I think we can just pass in ourselves as the layout node, and we will be used as the resolution context. So is that what's happening with the shadow thing? Yeah, right. So text shadow was one of those functions that was taking a layout node. And look at that. Yeah, so it's doing the same thing for text shadow. If it's a math value, then we use the layout node as the resolution context. So that's cool. Okay, so can we build this? That would be nice if that just works. It would be nice if this is the only problem, but I suspect that it might not be that easy. But we will build this and we will try, and we should also construct our own test case for this so that we can make a layout tester or something. So really this is about border spacing having a calc value. BS calc value, let's say. So if you did something like div, border spacing, calc, 2px, I don't know. Div. Oops. Okay, so that doesn't fall apart now, but was it falling apart before my change? Guess I'll have to undo the change here a little bit. Okay. Just want to make sure that it was failing before. Okay, it was. Great. So we know how to trigger the crash. Just put border spacing calc something. Cool. So that will be an easy way to make a test. And let's see how the WPT test fares. Still crashing. But it's a different verification failure. So now we are failing not as calculated in parse rect value. We are wrecked by the rect value parsing. Sure. So fine, let's deal with that momentarily. I'm just going to make a test for this first change first. So a test. BS calc value. Test libweb. Layout input. Do I have what do I want to call this? I guess border spacing calc don't crash. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to not crash. So what am I trying to do? I just want to rebaseline that one test, border spacing calc don't. Failed opening. Oh, right. I saw there was some bug about this. I'm just going to hack around it for now. There's some bug where you can't rebaseline a new test, but I know there's a PR for that. It just hasn't been merged yet, I think. So let's see. Yeah, so this just has to not crash. And we're good. Okay. So let's make a branch here. We'll call it flow gap closing, which is sounds like it's something else entirely, but it's just about closing the gap with flow's WPT scores a little bit. Okay, so libweb. Tolerate calc values. Yeah. Don't crash when encountering. Yeah, exactly. This allows us to progress further on this WPT test. Although it still crashes before finishing. Sure. And then we had some other thing, something rect related. Not as calculated in parse rect value. Sure. So let's attach a debugger again so that we can see exactly where it's failing. And it's kind of nice to do this attach wait for, because then you can just start it at your own leisure. Okay, and let it run until it fails. Okay, so we are in parse rect value and CSS parser 2714. Fix me, support calculated lengths. Well, I see. So I guess we are, what are we parsing? Rect values. So I guess that's like the rect function for clip properties. What is this? Right, like this kind of thing here. Clip rect. So we're parsing one of these, and some funny man decided to put a calc value in the middle of the rect, and then we don't handle that. We're just assuming that dot value here succeeds either this one or that one. Double dot value. Okay, so if I wanted to handle calc values, this might get a little messy. What does this thing return? Returns a style value. Rect style value. So I don't know that this is set up to handle calc because it contains just an edge rect, which is a set of lengths. So this is not really equipped to handle calc. That would need a bit of surgery or some more extensive changes, because then you need to change this into a length or calculated, and then we need to update a billion places to handle that, and like a lot of places we need to resolve it to a length. So let's go for the slightly simpler fix by turning this crash here into a debug log. So let's say if maybe length dot value is calculated, then we will fail the parse, and we will turn this into a debug statement. So like this, fix me, support calculated lengths in rect. We can even log the thing that we failed to parse here. So how do we get the calculated? Like this toString? Yeah. So what if we just do that? And yeah, it will be a bigger change to actually support calc and rect, but let's see if this gets us past that part of the test and to the next crash. Ooh, it got us all the way to the end, and we have like 1,500 new passes, or 1,556 new passes. 34 failures. Sure. Can I hide the passes here so I only see the failures? Okay, yeah. So we have like calc, a lot of calc related failures, maybe all calc related failures, which is okay. It's just like stuff that we need to figure out how to handle. But the cool thing here is that if we fix these two issues so that we don't crash, that means that we're going to get 1,556 new passing subtests. And that was just one file out of 3, right? So we had the other two, no quirks and limited quirks. So let's try those as well. No quirks. How does that go? Okay, so 1,543, another 1,500 roughly, and limited. Limited, another 1,500, 1,540. So like 1,540 times 3, let's say. That is rather nice. 4,620 new passing subtests. That's going to be a nice bump on the graph. So let's definitely do this. And I guess we can do a no crash test as well. Just nice to have some kind of regression test to make sure that we don't reintroduce the bug. So what was this one? Clip rect, CSS rect value with calc. Don't crash. So that would be like rect, or no, clip rect. Can you do something like that maybe? And let's see if it crashes without. It didn't crash. Okay. Oh, reset. It's easier if you type correctly. Yes, that does crash. Got it. Okay, yeah, so we're good. We have a crashy thing. And then if we unstash, then it doesn't crash. Fantastic. Don't crash. All right, the issue again where I have to create the file so that it exists, and then I'm allowed to rebaseline it. Don't worry about this. It's going to be fixed by the time you see this video, I think. There we go. So then we just need to create a commit. Web. Don't crash when encountering calc inside a CSS rect value. This allows us to run. What's the directory called? The WPT tests under quirks unit less length without crashing, giving us over 4,600 new passing subtests. Very cool. Okay, so that should be pretty great. Just bring up the Grafana here, take a look at it. So we are at 1.52 million passing subtests at the moment. It's a slight regression from last night when we were at 1.525. Now we're at 1.523. But we do have some issues with the runners, so it's a little bit unstable. But we occasionally get like some timeouts that don't occur in every run, or some crashes that don't occur in every run, and we're working on tracking those down. But it's generally pretty stable for the number of tests that we're going through, and this should bump us up to 4,600 plus this, which will be something that we would see tomorrow if this gets merged. So that's very cool. Okay, well, that was faster than expected, but very nice. Nice and simple fix. So I guess if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out. And I certainly encourage everybody who's interested in browser development, even if you've never done it before, this is a really nice way to get started on it. You can find so many things to do if you just go browse the WPT dashboard at wpt.fyi, link in the description. There are a million little things that you can fix in Ladybird and improve our score. And it doesn't just improve our score, but it improves our compatibility with the web, which is the whole point of this, of course. The score is just a proxy for that. So very, very cool. And shout outs to Flow. Let's have a little playful competition here. I think that's just healthy. They're pretty far ahead, but we can catch up if we look for opportunities like this to recover. And yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all next time.